Okay, in this lesson, we're going to explore how we can define our own functions, right? We learned about built-in functions. Now we're going to make our own. We'll look at how to define them, how to invoke and call them, how to pass data into our functions using something called parameters and arguments, and how to return data using the return command. All right, so I just have a little JS sandbox. This is just my little starter template. I'll include a link to the starter template in the video description here, so if you want to code along with me, you can. And this just has, do I have it open? Yeah, I've got it open right here. It just has some basic HTML in it, a heading and a paragraph, and then the main.js. Everything's linked, right? Main.js, style.css. And it says hello in the console. Yay. All right. So to do this little lesson on defining functions, we're just going to do something really simple. I'm going to define a function that just says a greeting to the user. So let's just do the definition first. Use the keyword function, and then we give the function a name. I'm going to call it greeting. Then we do open and close parentheses, open and close braces. And remember, function is just a stored block of code, so whatever's in between these braces is the stored code. So I'm just going to do a little, let message be assigned hello person, have a great day, exclamation mark. And then we'll just go console.log the message. All right, and hopefully, oh, this is perfect. There's nothing in my console. And I'm like, hey, oh, now there is. And this weird error keeps popping up. So it has something to do with an extension, I think. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Okay, so console.log message, nothing happened. And that's perfect because we defined a function. And remember, functions store code. That's really distracting. I'm just going to leave it. Okay, what was I saying? Functions store code, but they don't actually do their job until we tell them to, right? So in order to actually call this function, here, let's add a comment here. This is where I define the function. And then to invoke or call the function, we simply use the name of the function followed by parentheses. And then we end our statement with a semicolon. And I'm just going to copy and paste that because once we write this function, we can reuse it as many times as we want. Right? So greeting, 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 yay, right? Each time it sees this, it runs, okay, I want to run, you're telling JavaScript, run the code that's stored inside of this function. And it does it. All right, that should be pretty straightforward. Define the function, invoke it. Now, the function always does the exact same thing. I would like to do, like maybe I want to say a greeting to, Nathan, and I want to wish Nathan that he could have a good night because it's nighttime. Right? I want to be able to pass. And maybe I want to then say, hello to Azra and wish Azra a great afternoon. And maybe I want to say hi to Megan and wish Megan a great morning. Right? I can type this. JavaScript won't complain. It won't give me an error message. But it also won't do... Oh, it's thinking. That's sad. It also won't do what I want it to do. It says, the greeting function says, well, I don't care that you're giving me this information. I'm just going to print out my message, hello person, have a great day. So we need a way in this function to say, well, hold on, don't always print out person, print out the information that I pass into the function. And to do that, these things here are called arguments. Okay, arguments are the values, let me write this down. Arguments are the values passed into a function. Okay, and these arguments need to be stored somewhere, and we store them in something called a parameter. And the parameter is basically just like a variable, and we define that variable inside of our function definition, our function header right here. So I'm going to have name, comma, and then time of day. So these are two parameters. And the parameters will store, right? So this first argument, Nathan, will get stored inside of this parameter. And then the next argument, night, will get stored inside of this parameter. When I call the function again, Azra is the first argument. It'll get stored inside of name. Right? So these are like placeholders, right? Variables, parameters. It says, hey, this greeting function expects you to give it a name and a time of day. And then what I can do is I'm going to change this to a backtick. the double quotes to a backtick. That's just above the tab or to the left of the number 1. Because when I do a backtick, instead of person here, I can go $ and then braces, and I can insert anything inside of here that I want, and I'm going to insert the variable name or the parameter name. Awesome. And then instead of saying have a great day, I'm going to do the same thing here, and we'll insert time of day. So now the message should be hello, whatever name is, right? That gets passed into the function, and then time of day is going to be whatever's passed into the function as well. Let's save that, and great. The first time we call the function, we get hello Nathan, have a great night. The next time, hello Azra, have a great afternoon. Hello Megan, have a great morning. And you could do it again, right? Greeting to Caleb, that's my kid's name, and we'll just say day. Hello Caleb, have a great day. Right, so we can reuse this function, passing in different information into the function. Arguments to the values passed into the function. Parameters they're basically like variables that store the arguments. Okay, and that's right here. Name and time of day are the parameters. All right, that's a quick little example on how to define a function with passing values in. Now, right now I'm just logging this message to the console. What if I wanted to, maybe get this message and save it to a file or email it to someone, or I don't know, do something different with it? What I'd like to do is, instead of doing console.log, because this function, that's its only purpose, is to log something to the console. Maybe I want to display it on the page, right? So if I want to return this message, instead of putting it in the console, I just go return, and then whatever I want to return from this function, because remember, when we looked at built-in functions, functions can take in data, but they can also return data. So we can return whatever the message is. And now when I save this, you'll notice, ooh, there's nothing in the console, because I have no console.log. I'm actually going to copy this for a second. And if I run this function in the console shows me what the function returns, right? See this little arrow means what did it return? So it's showing me it returned this hello Nathan, have a great night. So again, what do I do if a function returns something? Well, I can store it in a variable. Whoops, I deleted everything. Here we go, undo. Let, Nathan greeting be assigned this. I'm going to get rid of these other ones for a second here. And then this time I'm going to alert the Nathan greeting. And I'll console.log the Nathan greeting. Right, so there's the Nathan greeting, and I put into the console, right? So this greeting function, it returned the message. I stored what it returned into this variable, and I can use that variable multiple times in different places, and that's pretty cool. All right, that's actually quite a bit of stuff here. The key information about functions: being able to define them, being able to invoke them, passing data into the functions, and returning them. And I think those are the main things, right? Define the function, invoke the function, use parameters and arguments to pass data into the function, and that return command to return data from the function. Alrighty, hope that made sense. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.